Hey folks, what's going on? It's another day, even though I'm wearing the same sweater. It is, I gotta check. It's Wednesday already, the 15th of November. Cheers. Yes, I'm a creature of habit. I wear this. You folks that have been watching me for years know that years ago I had a couple of favorite sweaters. One was a blue one, and I just wore it. I wore it until it had holes in it, and I couldn't wear it anymore. Same with this. I wear it and I wash it and then I put it back on. I have an Amsterdam t-shirt on that was gifted to me. Utrecht. Did I visit there when we were there? I think so, yeah. Well, here I am, and I'll endeavor to share some thoughts about music and whatever else pops up into my head. First thing that I started to make this video and then I stopped it and restarted. But what I was playing when I got up this morning is Henry Cow, In Praise of Learning, their third album. This is a remix version of it that came out on CD in 1991. And as I was listening to it, I was reminded, I don't like this remix. It's been reissued again on CD with a mix closer to the original. Now, I still have the album. When the album came out, I thought it was cut really quietly, too quietly. So that they could have just boosted the levels. But this one, they completely go into the mix and fudge it myself. This is a brilliant album. I highly recommend this band and this music to everyone. I think the thought that I'm having this morning is that we are real good at being entertained. We're not as good at being educated or moving forward and learning. And music like Henry Cow is education much more than entertainment. And I encourage it. We could use it. We're living in some dumb ass times. They're always dumb, as some people say. Well, it's always. That doesn't make it any better. And that's no reason to just sit and take it in the ass. Speak up. Speak up and protest and make your voice heard. So, I want to thank Paul again of Roman Numeral Records for sending the package. I'm going to dive even further into the records today. I really like the way they're presented, and I could see myself, I could see my music on that label. I could. But let's talk about another label that sends me stuff and is vital. I think vital. This is not cheap entertainment. This is stuff that can open doors mentally and even emotionally. Music and sounds like what I'm about to show you. Fourth Dimension is a label out of Europe, I think Poland, doing some very, I think, important music releases. This is the latest thing by Alternative TV, Mark Perry, Direct Action. Look him up. His history was punk and post-punk. Look him up. I didn't look him up to refresh, but you do it, okay? This is not punk. It's a bit hard to describe because it's very sonic. I've listened to it all the way through, and I still can't remember how to describe it, except that the way it starts off is unexpectedly sonic. Not punk at all. Not guitars and bass. I just want to say hats off to Fourth Dimension for just really being brave and presenting this stuff to the world. It's important. I think it's important. Alternative TV, Direct Action. Seek this stuff out. Fourth Dimension Records. Okay. So, okay. So, yeah. So, yesterday I had a good day. I got a hold of my friend Frank, who I went to Steve Hackett with. We're good friends, and I said, what are you doing? Just come on over. He was having some work on trees at his place, and then he came over afterwards. Had a really nice short visit, but um, as we talked, I was reminded, he is a person I've seen a lot of shows with, like King Crimson. The second time when I met Michael B. of Prince's band, we were watching some of the extras from the Diamonds and Pearls together yesterday. And when we saw King Crimson in Minneapolis, when we got up to leave, Michael B. was sitting right behind us. I told you a story. I stopped and talked to him. Frank didn't talk to him. But I really appreciate my friend Frank and the occasional visit. Well, what happened is that we had the visit. Then I went to the record store because I saw a couple of really cheap used records. I said, I want those. I went and got them. But I got into a jag where I was playing some of my techno singles. And so there's not really much to show. I really can't explain much about these, but I'll show them. This is Super Unleash. Early 2000s is when most of these were made. I want to try to talk about these for half a second before I show you what I bought yesterday. Tommy Nevada. This is some person named Tommy Nevada. And yeah, this is the sort of stuff that is very repetitive. It's got a fat ass beat that makes you want to dance. And yet at the same time, some of the stuff is really hypnotic and enjoyable to listen to. Water Damaged, but Mr. Fingers, Closer. Mr. Fingers, Larry Heard. Again, an important musician. Maybe you never heard of him, but you've heard about the music that he's helped to develop. Club Techno, House. This is real good. Closer, real good. Here's another one. Patrick Zigon, Mental Draining EP. Patrick Ligon. Zigon. Excuse me, Patrick Zigon. I don't know where I got another Freudian thing. This one is super cool. On the Tresor label, people know about Tresor that know techno and electronic. Nihad Tool and Nimak Chak on one side and Joel Mull on the other side. Good stuff. Okay, so those were some techno records that I was playing. I've got a bunch. And when I'm in the mood, I even will get up and dance here. It's a way of keeping in shape. A lot of folks my age and older have swelling joints, like ankles and shit. I don't. I was just talking to my older sister about this, where she's doing some shit trying to get her swelling to go down. I don't sit on my ass all the damn day, okay? I don't have swollen parts. I stay active. So yesterday, Homer's, it's a little thing that I look forward to. It's part of my routine. I look forward to the Homer's used drop posts on Instagram most every day. They do them almost every day, not every day. And a lot of the used record drops are just swill. I mean, to me, it's just the same old guaranteed to sell, Dirty Dancing soundtrack, just, Billy Joel records all day, I don't get that, I think I do, but I don't like it, why people like Billy Joel are shoved down our throats here in America. It is. It's bullshit. But they had a couple of used things that I said, oh, I want that. Plus, this is cool. I want to thank Mark. I don't know if he sees this, but Mark Manor is one of the long-standing employees at Homer's. And he's a friend of mine, also a fan of mine. When he was a teen, he was a huge Digital Sex fan. And it was a big deal to him to finally be able to see us, because I think he was underage when we were going. But he saw us. But last time I was down there, I explained to him, I'm really surprised. Like, I'll see in the used update records that I kind of think, well, I don't have to have that held. It's so common, and then I'll get down there, it's gone. And one of those that I've been wanting to replace, because I forget what happened to my original copy, is Santana. I mentioned that to Mark last time I was down there. So when I went down yesterday, looking in the used for what I saw in the update, he comes from the back and brings this out to me. He had looked up a copy for me in their warehouse. I really appreciate that. This album is very important to me. I still remember the first time I heard this on the radio. What is this? What is this? That percussion, the vitality of the sound of the guitars. I was blown away, and saved my pennies and bought this when it first came out. I don't know what happened to my childhood copy. I couldn't have sold it because it would be too trashed. I don't know what happened to it. This is a very important album for me personally. I'm really happy that Mark did this for me, because he dug up an original. This may not necessarily be a first run, but this is an early run. It's on the 2i. You know, the reissues are on with the circular orange Columbia logos. And this is in good shape. And when I put it on, I hadn't listened to this in a long time. I was knocked out with, this is an important album. It sounds timeless. It does not sound like it came out in the 70s. It could have been made today. And their version of Evil Ways, still fantastic. It was a long time ago, but I got to see Santana on the Caravanserai tour, where he was real spiritual. Bobby Womack opened, and Carlos Santana filled the stage with candles, and he prayed for a half an hour on stage before he played a note. That's brave, and I just love shit like that. Glad I got to experience it. Cheers, people. I got this compilation. Just these records were under $10 each, and that's what I love. It's like, okay, I can afford to get some shit. This was cheap. It's a series of compilations called All Sorts that came out from Track Records, the label that The Who were behind. Their management, I'm pretty sure, started this label. And there's a series of this. This is the Cinnamon All Sorts. There's a couple of others. And there's nothing unusual about this. It's an import. It's on Track Records, that label I love. It's got Fire on it by Arthur Brown. So what I'm happy to say is, as I didn't necessarily consciously suspect, but I know that when things like this are put out, they don't necessarily always use the main mix that was released. And so consequently, Fire on here is more dynamic. And I have 2 copies of the actual album. This actually has a bigger dynamic sound. But again, the Crazy World of Arthur Brown album was so successful, it was repressed many times, probably with several second or third generation plates, possibly. So I was knocked out by how big this sounded. And it's just enjoyable to listen to the programming of this, you know. Arthur Brown, The Move, Golden Earring, Jimi Hendrix, Speedy Keen. Also of interest, of note, is that the back covers, the information is in Braille on all of them. No, I don't read Braille, but I thought, well, that's an interesting feature. Okay. That, and this one I bought 2 new albums. Well, not new albums, but new, not in the used section. I saw this and I didn't recognize it, but I knew that this is the sort of thing from my past that when I can get it cheap, I want it. And this was only $5. Perfect. Electric Tommy, world's first rock opera. This is a studio concoction that is led by Um, they're passed away now, but they were studio mavens, people who did a lot of soundtracks and almost like the Wrecking Crew. Joe Renzetti and Tony Luisi were behind this. Okay, and it's an early electronic version of the music from Tommy. But guess what? When I was down at the store, buying this and talking about it with one of the older employees there, because they're always fascinated by what I buy, I said, this is probably really cheesy, exploito shit, that the world is really well known for. I get this home and this is good. This is tasty. It's, they call it, it's like it's sort of psychedelic, but it's really kind of jazzy, really. And the synthesizer playing on it is good. This is better than I expected. I just thought, well, whenever I can get records like this from my past cheaply that I didn't have, I want to get it. And so that's why I got it. Turns out it's good. It's a good record. And the two records that I bought new in the store, they're not new, but they're new. This one came up as a result of hanging out with Frank yesterday. Frank and I like the band Hot Chip. I've seen the band once. He's seen them 2 or 3 times with his wife. They will travel for shows. I'm not into that. They go all the way out to the West Coast just to see a show and visit some friends. I've done it a few times. Anyway, we were talking about different shows and stuff, and Hot Chip came up, and I always file away videos to watch later. So I was saying to him, the first song from the new album, the video for it sounds really commercial, and I was kind of disappointed. I really liked their last album, so I kind of thought I wasn't going to buy it. But I was in the store yesterday after hanging with Frank, and I looked at it and I said, I bet you I'm wrong about this. I bet you this album is good. But the lead track is these guys trying to hang on to a record contract, making something super commercial. The opening song, the name of the album is Freak Out Release by Hot Chip, came out last year. And the first single from this is a song called Down that could have been made by anyone. It's really faceless dance music. Hot Chip are much more than that, and that's why I like them. I like that art. And sure enough, I let the record play. The first side is forgettable. By the time we get to side 3, there's the Hot Chip that I like. It's kind of psychedelic, kind of cerebral. Interesting, these English white guys who just really have a fat ass beat. They're very, very much influenced by Prince, and they get the beat right. But I like that Englishness. See, I like that. And this is the limited edition version, on a sort of copper, sort of brown, I don't know, color. So I was happy. Ended up playing the whole album. I said, well, because I thought, as after talking to Frank and how much we enjoyed them and stuff, and I was thinking to myself, could they really have? Because their last album, Bath Full of Ecstasy, I think is almost a masterpiece. I think it's fantastic. Bath Full of Ecstasy by Hot Chip. I think it's amazing. I do. Can I grab it right quick? Yeah. Bath Full of Ecstasy, Hot Chip. This is fantastic. And again, this is one of the collectible editions where they put all the information from everything on one surface, and they encourage you to color. Color the cover. Not me. I think they're a great band. And the other album I bought, it's like, okay, price isn't going down on this. I want it. I never owned this, but I know this album. Point of Departure, Andrew Hill. This is classic. People talk about Lee Morgan's album, and there's a couple others that people say they are the essential jazz albums, and I don't agree. I don't. It's that easy. I'm just gonna say it. easy to digest shit for white people records, you know. They're not essential to me. I'm thinking of that Lee Moore. I have the album. Can't think of the name of it. I really don't favor it. It's like hearing a radio song. It's so digestible. But this is the shit. This, Andrew Hill, the compositions, the way it sets up, the compositions are so dynamic and unique that it sets up the soloing where people have to really explore and do things. This is very important, in my opinion, and I don't think I'm the only one. This is a very important jazz record. All these people play high level. Tony Williams on drums, Eric Dolphy on here does some things that you only hear him do on this album. Point of Departure, I could go on and on. That's a fantastic album. Fantastic. So I'm going to leave it there. It's pathetic. Politics are pathetic. It's really pathetic. These politicians call themselves adults. Anyway, have a good day, have a good evening whenever you see this.